Throw in the dirt. Kayan Wade reaches.
Here we have a routine ground ball. And just need to make sure you take a little bit more time to get rid of the ball, because the ball is gonna beat the runner. If you get your feet set, it's worth taking the extra split second to get your feet set to make a strong, accurate throw than to rush it on a routine ground ball like that.
So Sydney Holler comes up with 2 out and a runner on.
We talked about Sydney Holler last game, and she is so smart. She has a 4.5 GPA at Shawnee Mission South High School. She's very versatile. She can play catcher and third base. One of the leaders on this team.
Floats one into center field. 2 on, 2 out. Brings up Lauren Strick, the extra player for the Rockets.
Lauren will graduate in 2016. She goes to Gardner High School, playing for my old catcher growing up, Joanne Calvin.
Skies one high and foul. Pitches outside, ball 1.
1-2.
Count will remain 1-2. Tattoos one to center field. Rolls all the way to the wall. Run comes across. 2 runs are in. Lauren Strick, the 2 RBI double.
That was a great job of protecting the plate with a 1-2 count. Really. Right over her head in center field. Great timely hitting.
So Lindsey Woodson comes up with a runner on second and 2 down. Pitches in there for a strike.
And we talked about how this Rockets organization is getting ready to leave for Colorado for the Colorado Sparkler.
She lays down the bunt. Throw to first is in the dirt. And Strick scores on the throwing error.
The Cougars need to just relax and make the play. Don't force the play. They need to just let the play just happen and not try to rush things. Get their feet set, field the ball first, get their feet set, make the throw, trust that the ball's gonna beat the runner. But when you start pressing defensively, that's when you start seeing these throwing errors and these fielding errors and just not what they normally do.
Megan Laughlin kind of lost her balance, lost her feet there on the throw. Leads to another run coming across. So now we see Robin Hutchins stepping in for the Rockets. Pitch is high, runner moves on to second base.
One, two.
Foul tip. Foul ball. One and two the count. Runner on, 2 down. Foul tip straight back. Count stays 1 and 2.
The key to the Rockets right now, they're hitting well, but you want to make sure that you're not swinging at pitches outside of your zone.
Another ball dribbled the outfield, falls in. That's a double for Hutchins as another run scores to make it 4-0.
See, it looked like a changeup right there that hung a little high. And it was a great effort by the center fielder. Any coach loves a player who's going to try and dive for a ball. Isn't afraid to get dirty. Even if you miss it, one of those times that she dives, it's going to fall on her glove. You never know. You never want to walk away going, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. You always want to go all out. That way you can walk away knowing you did everything you could to try and make the play.
So now we get our first look at Teresa Dolan. Pops one up into foul territory. Maggie Berg makes a catch for the 3rd out. But the Rockets are able to put numbers up on the board. Crooked numbers. We'll come back. 4-0 is the score when we return. 4-0 is the score. The Olathe Rockets striking with 4 across in the 2nd inning. In the bottom of the 2nd, it's the heart of the order for the Cougars with Christy Ambrosi. I'm Kenny Tripulliams. We welcome you into Lone Elm Park in Olathe, Kansas.
Such a beautiful night out.
Nicole Barman leads things off here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
And Nicole Barman is a graduate of Olathe Northwest. She'll be a freshman at Pittsburgh State University next year. Her nickname is Tude. I don't know if that's short for attitude, but, and her favorite food is Mexican. Sounds good right now.
Yeah, it does. Ball low and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2.
You can see how she's got her face, her body, she turns it towards the pitcher and then goes back into her negative move or her load when the pitcher starts her motion. And sometimes that just helps hitters wait on the ball a little bit. Sometimes it helps them see the ball and track the ball a little bit better. If they're a right-handed hitter and they're right-handed, they're usually right eye dominant, which means their dominant eye is in the back. And some hitters don't get their head turned enough to really track the ball in. So hitters will turn their body like that as an adjustment. Sometimes you'll see them start with an open stance and then step in just to give them a little bit more of a perspective with that back dominant eye.
Teresa Dolan records the 1st out here in the bottom of the 2nd. That brings us to Lane Broker. Flies one to left field. Lindsey Woodson has a beat on it, and she makes a catch for out number 2.
She does a great job of drop stepping back there and getting behind the ball to make that catch.
Sydney Johnson steps into the batter's box with 2 down.
Sydney will be a senior at Piper High School. Her favorite food is chicken Alfredo. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? If we're going to start talking about their favorite food.
It's dinner time.
Can somebody bring us some Mexican food back there?
Sends one to Dolan. Fires to first in time. 3 up, 3 down for the second consecutive inning for the Cougars. 4-0 is the score. We'll be back with the third when we return. 4-0 is the score. Olathe Rockets over the Cougars, top of the third inning. Jesse Kern leads things off as we come back to the top of the batting order for the Rockets. Kern had a single in her first at-bat. Ball 1 from Ashley Laughlin.
Hey, play that one.
Scores up to bunt. Right back to the pitcher. Laughlin fires it to first in time to record the first out here in the top of the third.
And bunt defense is just like a fly ball. You've got 4 people coming to the ball. You got the pitcher, the catcher, the first baseman, and third baseman, and somebody has to call it. And the last person that really you want to field the ball is the pitcher, but you want your pitcher to be aggressive like that, come out and call it, and not be afraid of it. Some pitchers sit back and they expect to be called off, and she doesn't do that. She's very aggressive, and I really, really like that. I want a pitcher who can play defense, who's not afraid to call the ball.
Julia Keating pops one up to the pitcher. 2 down.
Hey, play that one.
Katie Udansky steps in with 2 down. It's moved to the hole and short. Lane Broker fires to first. 3 up, 3 down, nothing doing. 4-0 is the score. We'll be back with the bottom of the third after the break. Welcome back in to Lone Elm Park in Olathe, Kansas. The Olathe Rockets lead the Cougars 4-0 in the bottom of the third. Leading things off for the Cougars here is Marissa Abarca.
Marissa's a sophomore at Shawnee Mission Northwest. She also plays volleyball, and you'll see a lot of softball players who play volleyball and vice versa, and they're really good back row defense on volleyball because it's so similar to defense in softball.
Shawnee Mission Northwest making it to the Kansas 6A State Softball Tournament this past May. Abarca to third. Sydney Haller scoops it, throws it. Good reason why her nickname is Crash.
That's right. Nothing's going to get by her. She's been solid all day at third. And just knowing if I get it over towards first base, my first baseman's going to scoop that out of the dirt for me.
Crash, a reference to the Bull Durham movie. Mackenzie Lancaster stepping into the batter's box.
That's a nice changeup right there. As a pitcher, you really want to show that changeup early. You want to get in the hitter's head and let them know, I've got off speed. I'm going to throw it. You don't know when I'm going to throw it, but I could throw it. And just to get them thinking about the changeup can be effective. It's very mental.
Ball 1.
Yeah, Katie.
Ball just out of the strike zone. That's in there for the punch out. Strike 3.